In a small, vibrant village in Nigeria, a beautiful girl named Amaka lived with her loving parents. Her mother, Nneka, was the heart of their family, her laughter ringing through their home like a melody. Tragically, when Amaka was just 4 years old, Nneka passed away, leaving a void that seemed impossible to fill. Amaka's father, Egui, was devastated but knew he had to be strong for his daughter. As time passed, Egui remarried a kind woman named Adis. Adis treated Amaka with love and care, becoming the motherly figure the young girl so desperately needed. For a time, their household was filled with joy and harmony once more. However, when Adis gave birth to her own daughter, Ebiub, the dynamics began to shift. Ebiub was the apple of her mother's eye, and as she grew older, Adis' attention and affection became increasingly centered on her biological daughter. Amaka, who had once been showered with love, found herself gradually pushed to the periphery. Ebiub was indulged in every way possible, while Amaka's life took a drastic turn. By the time Amaka and Ebiub were teenagers, the differences in their treatment were stark. Amaka was burdened with all the household chores, rising before dawn and working tirelessly until nightfall. Ebiub, on the other hand, enjoyed a life of leisure and ease, her only concern being her own pleasure and comfort. The disparity in their lives placed a tremendous strain on Egui, who was deeply troubled by the unfairness but felt powerless to change it. The stress of witnessing his beloved daughter suffer while his wife and stepdaughter lived in luxury took a severe toll on Egui's health. He developed high blood pressure, and despite Amaka's best efforts to care for him, he eventually succumbed to his illness. Egui's death left Amaka utterly devastated and completely alone in the world. After Egui's passing, Adis' treatment of Amaka worsened. With no one to defend her, Amaka became little more than a servant in her own home. She was forced to do all the work while Ebiub continued to enjoy her pampered life. The villagers, though sympathetic, were largely powerless to intervene in the affairs of another's household. Amaka's spirit, however, remained unbroken. Despite the harsh treatment, she held onto the values her father had instilled in her: kindness, resilience, and a strong sense of self-worth. She found solace in the small joys of life, such as the vibrant colors of the market, the laughter of children playing, and the beauty of the Nigerian landscape. One day, news spread through the village like wildfire: the prince, Obinna, had returned after completing his studies abroad. It was said that he was seeking a bride, and every maiden in the village hoped to catch his eye. A grand celebration was planned to welcome him back, and excitement filled the air. On the day of the celebration, the village square was adorned with colorful decorations, and the air was filled with music and laughter. Amaka, despite her stepmother's objections, was determined to attend. She had nothing fancy to wear, but she made do with a simple, yet elegant, dress that had once belonged to her mother. With her natural beauty and grace, she stood out even in the modest attire. As the festivities commenced, Obinna greeted the villagers, his presence commanding yet warm. He was immediately struck by Amaka, who stood quietly at the edge of the crowd, her serene beauty and dignified demeanor capturing his attention. Throughout the evening, he watched her, intrigued by the contrast between her and the other maidens who vied for his attention. When the time came for the prince to choose a dance partner, he surprised everyone by approaching Amaka. As they danced, he was charmed by her intelligence, kindness, and the quiet strength that radiated from her. He learned about her hardships and was moved by her resilience and humility. In the days that followed, Obinna made several visits to Amaka's home, much to the chagrin of Adis and Ebiub. The prince's affection for Amaka grew, and he admired her even more for her perseverance in the face of adversity. He saw in her the qualities of a true queen: strength, compassion, and grace. Obinna soon made his intentions clear: he wished to marry Amaka. The announcement was met with mixed reactions. The villagers were delighted, but Adis and Ebiub were furious. They had hoped that Ebiub would catch the prince's eye and were now consumed by jealousy. Despite their objections, the prince's decision was final. Amaka was overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. On the day of their wedding, the village celebrated with unparalleled enthusiasm. Amaka, now dressed in the finest traditional attire, radiated happiness as she walked down the aisle to marry the man who had seen her true worth. The union of Amaka and Obinna was a turning point for the village. Amaka, now a princess, used her new position to promote fairness and kindness, ensuring that no one in the village suffered as she had. She remained humble and close to her roots, always remembering the lessons her father had taught her. In time, even Adis and Ebube came to respect and admire Amaka, realizing the error of their ways. Amaka forgave them, understanding that bitterness would only continue the cycle of pain. Instead, she focused on building a future where love and justice prevailed. Thus, Amaka's story became a legend in the village, a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of inner strength, and the enduring belief that true worth comes not from status or wealth, but from the kindness and integrity within one's heart.